Hello, everyone. This is Twins Week in Baseball on the Tribes Fan 879 YouTube channel. We'll recap 3 out of 4 games against the Detroit Tigers and 2 out of 3 games against the New York Mets. And we'll start with Game 1 of the 4-game set against the Tigers at Comerica Park. This would be Irvin Santana for the Twins and Daniel Norris for the Tigers. And the Twins come out early in the second inning against Norris. Kurt Suzuki with the leadoff single goes to second on a Max Kepler walk. He goes to third on a double play, and the Twins start a 2-out rally. Eddie Rosario with a base hit that gets home Suzuki. That makes it 1-0. Byron Buxton singles Rosario to third, and then Brian Dozier with his 80th RBI of the year singles home Rosario, and that's 2-0. Robbie Grossman singles home Buxton. That made it 3-0. And then Miguel Sano with his 77th RBI singles home Dozier, and that made it 4-0. The Tigers would come back in the bottom half of the third. Jose Iglesias leadoff walk. Ian Kinsler walks to second. And then a single by Cameron Maben loads the bases. And then Miguel Cabrera with a ground ball in the hole. His only play, Escobar's only play was to first, and that scored Iglesias from third. And that made it a 4-1 game. And then we skip ahead to the top half of the eighth. This would have been Shane Green pitching, who's now their closer. Sano leadoff walk. Kenny Vargas singles him to third. After a walk loads the bases, Kurt Suzuki. Max Kepler with a 2-run double. That would give him 39 RBIs on the year. That made it 6-1. And then Eduardo Escobar with a RBI ground out. That made it 7-1. The Tigers would draw only a little closer. Santana came out for the eighth. He gave up a leadoff double to Ian Kinsler, and Paul Molitor got the ball from him. They brought in Taylor Rogers. He got Cameron Maben to strike out, but then Miguel Cabrera with a 2-run homer. That made it 7-3. However, the Tigers would get no closer. Michael Tonkin finishes off the ninth, and the Twins win 7-3. Kepler was your star of the day. The 2-run double kind of just put the game at ease. Not to be outdone, though, Robbie Grossman did go 3 for 5 in this game with 2 singles and a double. All right, we go to the next game, game 145. This is Daniel Gibson against Matt Boyd. Well, at least the Twins were not shut out in this game. The Twins did leave a runner. Actually, they got a runner on third with a Polanco triple in the top half of the first. And then it would be base running mistakes all over. Grossman hit a ball to center field that was caught by Maben. They tried to score, and Polanco is out at the plate. So that ended the top half of the first. And we go to the bottom half of the second. J.D. Martinez with a leadoff walk. And then Eric Ibar reaches when Logan Schaefer misplays a fly ball, and that puts runners on second and third. And then Jared Saltalamacchia with an RBI ground out. That made it 1-0 Tigers. Then we skip ahead to the bottom half of the fourth. J.D. Martinez leadoff single. Tyler Collins with a double gets runners on second and third. And then Eric Ibar with a 2-run double. That makes it 3-0 Tigers. The Tigers would score another run in the bottom of the eighth off of Alex Wimmers. Leadoff walk to Victor Martinez. Tyler Collins walks 2 batters later. Eric Ibar walks with to load the bases. And then Jared Saltalamacchia playing small ball again. Ground out to first, but that scores Victor Martinez. And that's 4-0. The Twins would get a run. Joe Mantiply came out in the 9th. Leadoff single by Kenny Vargas. Goes to second on a ground out. Goes to third on a Eduardo Escobar single. John Ryan Murphy would walk, and then they decided with the bases loaded, they would give it to Francisco Rodriguez. And Logan Schaefer hits a ground ball back to the mound. They got the runner at second, but could not complete the double play, and that scored the Twins' only run. And then Byron Buxton struck out to end the game. 4-1, the Tigers win. Gibson with the loss, Boyd with the win, and Rodriguez gets the save. All right, we got a game 146, and this is Tyler Duffy against Anibal Sanchez. Not a bad game here. Top half of the first, the Twins get out early. Max Kepler with his 13th home run of the year, a 2-out solo home run in the top of the first, gets the Twins out in front. The Tigers would come back in the bottom half of the second. J.D. Martinez with a leadoff single, and then Justin Upton says, anything you can do, I can do better, and he rips one over the wall to give the Tigers a 2-1 lead. They would add to that lead in the bottom half of the third. Jose Iglesias leadoff walk, goes to second on a ground out, and then Cameron Maben with an RBI double makes it 3-1. Bottom half of the fourth, once again, the walks are a killer. J.D. Martinez leadoff walk. James McCann, got that one right finally, singles Martinez to third, and then I believe it's Andrew Romine with an RBI single. That made it 4-1. The Twins would come back in the top half of the fifth. Robbie Grossman with a leadoff solo home run. The Twins would try to get runners on, try to score again. They got runners on first and third with one out, but could not score. So after the fifth, Sanchez was pulled. We got to the top of the sixth, and Alex Wilson pitching. Kenny Vargas with a leadoff double. The next two are retired. And then Robbie Grossman again with an RBI double. That's his 26th of the year. That made it 4-3. However, K-Rod would come in again in the ninth to shut the door. And the Twins lose 4-3. Duffy would get the loss. Sanchez would go 5 for the win. And K-Rod gets the save. The next game was played on the channel and was a very good game. If you like late inning dramatics, please watch. And then that ended the series against that Tigers game was Hector Santiago against Mike Pelfrey. The next game was also played on the channel. This was Bartolo Colon and Jose Barrios as the Twins went to Citi Field. Well, let's just say the Twins as a team showed up, but their bats did not show up. You'll see the gory details if you watch the game. All right, and however, the next game, game 149, was a lot closer. This was Irvin Santana against Seth Lugo, who is now a reliever for the Mets. The Mets got out early. Jose Reyes with a leadoff walk. He goes to third on an Asdrubal Cabrera double, and then scores on a sac fly by Yoenis Cespedes. So the Mets take an early 1-0 lead. And then Jay Bruce walks, or actually, no, Granderson would ground out to get him to third, Cabrera to third. Jay Bruce walks, and then TJ Rivera with a RBI double that scores Cabrera, and that made it 2-0. The Twins would come back in the top half of the fifth after a Eduardo Escobar foul out. Eddie Rosario goes deep for his 17th of the year, and that makes it 2-1. And then Byron Buxton follows with a home run, so the Twins go back-to-back. That's Buxton's 8th of the year. And then Juan Centeno follows with a single. Santana sacrifices him to the second. And then Brian Dozier coming through with an RBI single. That's his 83rd RBI of the year. And that gives the Twins a 3-2 lead. Excuse me. However, the Mets would come right back. This inning could have been a lot worse, though. After Cabrera pops out, Cespedes a one-out single. Curtis Granderson walks to put runners on first and second. And then Jay Bruce with an RBI single that scores Cespedes and puts runners on first and third. But TJ Rivera grounds out into a double play, and that makes it 3-3. The Mets actually had their chances late in the game. In the ninth, this is Alex Wimmer's pitching RBI ground out for Reyes. Cabrera reaches on an error, and then Cespedes and Granderson walk. However, he gets Bruce to strike out and Rivera to ground out, and we go to extra innings. Mets had their chance in the bottom of the 10th. This time with Ryan O'Rourke pitching. Walks the first two guys. Gets, let's see here. Gets Wilmer Flores to fly out. And then he walks Jose Reyes to load the bases again with one out, but a strikeout and a foul out in the inning. However, the tightrope magic would only last so long. Brandon Kinsler pitching in his second inning of relief. One out walk to Jay Bruce. TJ Rivera doubles to put runners on second and third. And then Lucas Duda, who came in as a defensive replacement after Ryan Nimmo pinch ran for Loney, rips a single. Bruce scores, and the Mets win 4-3. Let's say we'll give Josh Edgen, I believe is the guy's name. Let me kind of pull up his name here. Sorry. Yeah, Josh Edgen was his name. I'm sorry. He was probably a September call-up, and I don't think he's really done much of anything since. He gets the win, and Brandon Kinsler the loss. All right, so we go to the final game of the series. This is Kyle Gibson against Gabriel Yanoa. The Mets would get out early and often, which is a good thing for me. The Twins would get out early and often. That would be a good thing for me. Start with the top half of the first after Dozier fouls out. Logan Schaefer base hit goes to second on a walk by Jorge Polanco. Everybody moves up one base on a Kenny Vargas ground out. And then Robbie Grossman again. RBI single. That scores Logan Schaefer and Jorge Polanco. So 2-run single by Grossman. That made it 2-0. Byron Buxton singles. Grossman to second. And then James Beresford gets his second, I believe, RBI of the year. That made it 3-0. We skip ahead to the top half of the fifth. Kenny Vargas leadoff double. Then Robbie Grossman with a single after a Buxton strikeout. Actually, Beresford had 2 RBIs in this game. So James Beresford again with an RBI single. That made it, that's 4-0. And then John Ryan Murphy with an RBI. That made it 5-0. They would add another run when Jorge Polanco goes deep for only the second time this year. This is off of Josh Edgin, who got the win in the last game. And that made it 6-0. They would add 2 more runs. This probably would have been off of Fernando. No, this is not off Fernando. This is off of Edgin again. Let's see. So this would have been. Oh, Gibson walked. That's right. That's right, because this was his last of it. Kyle Gibson got 4 at-bats. So he walked. He got the 210 on the number 1 pitcher hitting card. Brian Dozier with a single puts runners on first and second. And then Logan Schaefer with a seeing eye single gets runners on. That loads the bases. Jorge Polanco with a shallow fly ball keeps the bases loaded, but then Kenny Vargas walks with the bases loaded. Actually, then Robbie Grossman also followed, so that made it 8-0. Yeah, the Mets would get some of their runs to keep the home team happy. This would have been still off of Kyle Gibson. He walked Lucas Duda. Matt Reynolds got hit by a pitch. And then Eric Campbell with an RBI triple scores 2. And then on an error by James Beresford, Campbell would score, and that made it 8-3. The Twins would add a run in the top of the 8th off of Josh Smoker. After a double play, unloaded the bases. Eddie Rosario with a base hit. Dozier moved him to third, and then Logan Schaefer with an RBI. That made it 9-3, and that's your final. So Gibson went 6 1/3. He tried his hardest, but he just ran out of gas. He gets the win. Gabriel Yanoa went 5 innings because he had to hit in the bottom of the 5th. And then he gets the loss. Alrighty, so the next games, on the channel will actually be, again, back-to-back games. The Twins will face the Tigers for 3, and this is the second game of a doubleheader. Justin Verlander against Irvin Santana. And then the Twins host the Mariners for 3, and we will bring you the first game of that series. James Paxton, the Big Maple, against Kyle Gibson. So the Twins' record now is 58-92. We will see and that's all for here. So that's all for Twins Week in baseball. This is TriFan879 saying, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. And if you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon. You'll be notified whenever new videos are put up. And whatever games you are playing, may your games be lively and your games be good. Have a good day, everybody.